What's up? What's up?
This is
I'm
serious.
being honest.
Yikes.
We can't split pole. We gotta walk the same way.
Oh, wow. Oh, no, let's be careful. What's up, you guys? This is your girl, Casey, and I'm back with another episode of the Let's Be Clear podcast. And today, I have a special guest, the man, the myth, the legend himself, Mr. Coach Penny Hardaway.
What's up? What's up? I'll pay you later for the next one.
What's up, brother?
What's up?
How you doing?
Man, everything's been good.
Lovely, right? Everybody good?
No complaints. Everybody's
Okay.
good.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna start off with thank you for being here, right?
No
I know
problem.
you're extremely busy. And I saw yesterday on your Instagram
Mm-hmm.
that we are celebrating some new.
Yeah, my mother is her cancer is she's cancer free, and has been battling for a while. But God is great to be able to pull her through that situation and for her to be cancer free right now. We're all excited.
Amen. Say amen if you can.
Amen.
I would imagine that is a hard thing to battle with such a public and responsible job. Like you're responsible for a lot of people. How have you been doing that?
Yeah, well, mom is moms, and I was trying to handle that secretly, but people on the team kind of knew what was going on because I was the primary caretaker. She lived with me, and it was just me and her. So having double duties, being the head coach at the University of Memphis and then caring for my mom, I actually enjoyed it because it put me in a position to have more time with my mom. Even though she was going through, we were kind of bonding.
Right.
At the same time, and just kind of kept it quiet until now, and was able to give the great news yesterday.
Amen. So is she's still with you, right?
Yes,
Okay.
she's still with me. Actually about to move her into a very nice facility that's not far from the practice facility that she loves. It was all her decision, and I'm okay with it. She's still 6 minutes away from my home, 2 minutes away from work, so that's great.
Shout out to mom. Now, I believe I heard she was a singer, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you did not start off like bouncing a ball at the age of like 6 months, no?
Not at 6 months, probably more like 4 or 5 years old. When I got old enough to put that ball in my hands, I was out there on the court and in the street dribbling that basketball.
I think I heard your first basketball hoop was a shopping cart. Did I hear
It
you?
was a shopping cart.
So what does that look like?
Take the shopping cart, push it far enough away, get any kind of basketball, and just start shooting into the basket. That was the first hoop.
And that's where it started.
That's where it started.
Yikes. So when did you know you were like, okay, I got something?
Probably when I was like 12 years old, the guys in the neighborhood were telling me that, you're special and you got an opportunity to be really good at basketball if you keep going. And I kind of felt the energy of that because they used to put us against each other all the time in the neighborhood with one-on-one basketball games. And I used to win all those. And I could just tell that I was different from the other guys. Not that I was cocky, but I felt like God gave me an ability that he didn't give a lot of people. And the neighborhood saw that. So around 12 years old.
Well, you tall, short?
I was short.
Oh, so you was like killing it.
Yeah, I didn't have a growth spurt from until 7th, 8th grade, and 8th to 9th, and then I didn't grow anymore.
In ninth grade.
7th, 8th, 8th to 9th. 7th grade, I was 5'6". I grew from 5'6" to like 6'1"-ish. And then from 8th to 9th, I grew from 6'1" to like 6'7".
Yikes.
Like I grew like bam, and then I didn't grow anymore.
So now you just killing it on court, or what are we on?
Yeah, it was, I had guard skills because I was short. And then when I grew, I kept those same skills.
Well, I guess that training term came in handy, baby.
It did.
So now you're in ninth grade. Are you projected to be All-American or the best, or you just fine?
No, actually, I was playing with Elliot Perry,
Okay.
who was a McDonald's All-American and went on to the University of Memphis and then to be a pro. He was a guy that I looked up to, so when I was playing with him, he brought the entire city out to watch him, and they noticed me. So that's when the rumbling started around the city, not just in my neighborhood. And my 10th grade year, had a coming out party and became the number one 10th grader in the country.
There.
From 9th grade to 10th grade, it was that special. And from that point on, I just stayed that I'm going to play 11th grade and 12th grade.
Now, being the number one player in the country at 15 years old, what's that like?
It's crazy because I just came from out of nowhere.
Right.
I wasn't on any circuits or playing AAU at all until I was in 9th grade. And when it happened, I pretty much was ready for it. I was like, okay, I'm ready for the challenge, and accepted it. And to me, it was everyday life because I woke up working out, woke up dribbling the basketball, woke up training. So I felt like if they were saying I was the number one sophomore, then I must be doing what I need to do.
But what about the other side? Like the fame, the people wanting your time and attention. How did you deal with it?
Yeah, my grandmother grounded me. She handled everything in a great fashion. She raised me with a very strict upbringing, and I definitely kept everything in perspective. I didn't move far away from the teaching, so I never got cocky, never got arrogant.
Yeah.
Never, not once. But I knew what that butt whooping felt like. If you ever got cocky or arrogant with my grandmother, you got it with. Yeah,
Raised you right, Jay.
she did.
So now we're in 10th grade, balling, tall, number one.
Yeah.
And still killing it.
Yeah, well, sophomore year wasn't our best team.
You're at what, Treadwell?
Treadwell. We made it to the first round of the district and lost at Ridgeway High School. And then after that, everything took off. 11th grade year and 12th grade year were special years.
When you were really like Butch, what's his name?
Yeah, Butch McCray.
Butch McCray. You really
Real
were
life Butch McCray, yeah.
Real life. So now we go to college. And you Memphis State. And are you, sometimes when you're really good in high school and then you go to college, you're not as good. But was that a situation for you or you were still balling?
No, I was still balling. I only played 2 years at the University of Memphis, and I was player of the year both those years in the conference, and All-American at the same time. So again, God just blessed me with the talent, but I worked so hard on that skill and on that talent that it just came together.
Right. Now back then there was no NIL. So you're just working, practicing, studying, and getting by on this.
Back then it was all about hard work. It wasn't about the money. It was about the opportunity. It wasn't about the obligation. It was about the opportunity. So when you got an opportunity, you just try to seize the moment. I got an opportunity to go to college and took advantage of it.
So do you feel like people or players now, because they have access to money and deals, do you think that kind of taints the talent, or do you think they are working, right? The universities are making money. So do you feel like it's par for the course, or do you feel like the old way is better?
No, I'm actually saying these young guys work harder. I don't think they're allowing the money to change them. They're obviously getting what they're worth,
right? But
they're also not resting on those laurels. They're not resting in feeling entitled. They're still getting in the gym and working on top of that. So I can respect that.
Well, I think they can too, because they like the money, right?
Oh, absolutely. You come from these humble backgrounds. You're like, hey, we don't have it like that. If I can get it because of my talent, I can say God will make room for your talent, right? Yeah. And that's what he's doing. And when they go and negotiate those opportunities, they're like, hey, I want my fair share of what I'm deserving of, and they do.
So we're in Memphis State, number 25, balling. And you are now about to go to the draft.
Yeah, well, it was a funny story about that. At the end of my junior year, I went to Coach Finch and called him and was like, hey, they're saying that I'm going to be lottery. I top 3 pick in the NBA, and I'm thinking about going to the draft. He hung the phone up.
Why?
I called him because he didn't want me to leave.
Oh, he wanted you to stay, right?
He was like, no, you won't be lottery. Don't worry about that. Click. So I called him back, and I was like, Coach, no, I'm serious. He was like, come to my office. We'll talk about it. And when I went to the office, he saw how serious I was about it because they told me that I'll be a top 3 pick. And he was like, so he was supportive of it. Okay. But in the beginning, he was like, that's crazy.
Why he didn't do it?
Not that he didn't think so. I think he more so wanted me to stay one more year. And I almost did, but.
Took the money.
Yeah. It was time.
So you leave, and so what number were you?
I was number 3, but I got traded for the number 1 pick. It was kind of one of those weird situations where Golden State had the number 1 pick. Orlando had the number 1 pick. Golden State had the third pick. Orlando needed a guard.
Right.
Golden State needed a big, but Philadelphia was the 2nd pick, and they needed a big. So they would pick me first, then the big would have gone before it got to Golden State. So we swapped the picks, me and Chris Webber.
So you really did end up being.
Absolutely. I can't claim number 1, but I got traded.
That goes down here.
That does.
To Orlando.
And that's my guy, Chris Webber. Right. Definitely deserving of that number 1 pick, but we definitely got squeezed.
Man, so you go from humble beginnings in Memphis State, to Orlando, sunny Orlando.
I worked really hard to get to Orlando because we did a movie, Blue Chips.
That's all right.
And when we did the movie Blue Chips, I had an opportunity to play with Shaq. And every single day, all I did was just cater to him, giving him the basketball, making sure he got the ball wherever he wanted. And it worked.
Like for the movie?
For the movie. Okay. The movie was all about basketball. Right. So,
I'm
just saying, so we got to play real basketball. It wasn't a scripted thing. So when we played, I just made sure that he knew that he needed me.
I think he knew that, right?
After the movie, he definitely knew.
What was that like doing your lines? And because I feel like Butch is very much like how you are, like just very mild mannered, kind of like clean, calm, collect.
I felt like I deserved an Oscar.
Really?
I did.
Well, you didn't do any more movies, though, did you?
I didn't have to.
I was
But because I didn't get an Oscar, I didn't get any more movies.
No.
Yes. But the lines actually, I had some help. A guy named Kevin Benton and a friend of his, LeVar Burton. They were out in L.A.
Wait, Reading Rainbow? Lamar? Oh.
Those guys are out there, and then they helped me with my script just to get ready for the part, just to audition for the part, because I had to go with Nick Nolte and at the time the director, William Friedkin, and I had to actually do
Your line?
my part. And what they told me, which was really smart, it was like, when you knock on the door and they tell you to come in, don't go in because you're nervous because you're actually going in and say that you want to transfer.
Right.
So don't open the door all halfway
right,
and just go right in.
Right.
They were like, knock one time, they're going to say come in. Knock again, they say come in, don't go. The third time, they're going to say come in, go in because you're kind of hesitant. You're apprehensive about going in because you're about to leave and you want to know. I wanted to know if I left, would my mom keep her house and her job? Or would she if I left the school? Well, that's what I wanted to know.
What's your favorite line from the movie?
Obviously, that scene was my best scene, favorite part of the movie because it's real because of all the transfer portal stuff that's going on today. We didn't foresee this happening in today's game, but to go in and really ask a coach about transferring and then have the audacity to say, the job in the house that you got is, can we keep that? Even though I'm
Right. If I
leaving?
leave?
Yeah.
Where's the movie?
The movie was actually filmed at USC for a majority. My part in high school was in Chicago, and then the other part that we filmed was at Purdue University.
Okay.
The end where I threw Shaq the lob was at Purdue University, and then Shaq did his part in Louisiana, and then Matt Nover, who was the other ball player, did his in Indiana.
What you doing then?
I remember.
That's it. So you falling. We're in Orlando. We done the movie. Do we have to shoot the other then?
Not my first year. First year I had to show and prove.
Okay.
Had a pretty good first year. We made it to the playoffs and then make it out in the first round. Second year I come back. Don't have a signature shoe, but I dominated my second year. Became first team All NBA. And from that point, it was smooth sailing because I got my signature shoe with Nike.
Now, when you get a shoot, do you get input? Like, do you get to?
I had a chance to have input on the make of it, the shape, the model, the colors, and started from scratch.
And this is like what 95,
95.
and the shoe is still selling.
That's the blessing of it. Everything comes full circle. My sneakers were very popular when I was playing, but now their sneakerheads are definitely keeping it.
They are.
Yeah, on top.
I wouldn't say they're like highly in demand.
Shout out to the sneakerheads that still rock the pennies.
I mean, I had a pair in 8th grade. They're
Trying to age me.
How many words does it say about me?
You were in 8th grade.
Right, in the 90s.
Okay. But no, shout out to the sneakerheads. And thank you for grabbing those in 8th grade.
I'm just saying, I mean, you got players, they got shoes, but they are not as popular as. I feel like you're a very public but private person. Shaquille O'Neal's on when we leave today, Shaquille O'Neal's gonna be on the corner with a clock room trying to get us to the class and stuff. But his shoes didn't do so well.
No, they didn't, but he was so smart. He actually put his shoes in Walmart.
I saw that.
And then he marked them down tremendously just to say, hey, I'm doing this for the community.
Yeah.
So Shaq was an ultimate businessman, which we see now. And very smart. Like you see him on every commercial, like you're saying, he's gonna do him.
Yeah. Are you considering being more outward or no?
I'm a little more calculated, but I am leaning more towards doing more things like Shaq. Shaq is just, you still have to be someone that's relevant and that's popular out there. So I think I'm still having that platform to be able to still get out there and do things.
Now, speaking of relevance, we cannot talk to you without mentioning Little Penny.
Mm-hmm.
Who came up with that idea?
This advertising agency that worked for Nike. The advertising agency was White and Kennedy. They came up with the concept because I was so quiet. I was public, I was private, and quiet. And Little Penny was
Totally
outspoken
opposite.
and totally opposite. Now, we felt like they were working, they did.
It did work.
Great job.
Are we going to see him again?
He will. He sneaks out every now and then. He does, still now.
Would he still be Chris Rock, though?
We hope so. Because Chris is totally different now. That was
Totally.
Chris Rock before Chris Rock.
What about Cat Williams?
The voice would change. I don't know if that will work.
Well, Little Penny would be a little different, too, right?
He would be, and Cat Williams would be a great
He have a little
guy.
gray. I want my credit if that. Yeah.
Okay, you can have the credit.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
Now, the original guy that they asked before Chris Rock was Warren Lawrence. He turned it down. And then Damon Wayans, I heard they turned it down.
Did you go away?
I didn't. I didn't feel any type of way because they couldn't see the vision and Chris Rock took it in.
Did you feel like that was gonna work?
I did.
Okay.
I did feel like it was going to work because it was comedy. And you know, the world loves comedy.
Especially back then, you didn't see anybody with a little dog.
No.
You know, and he was everywhere. Yeah, like
He was a man.
he was. So now you are Memphis State. Now you're a movie star.
Yeah. They didn't get an Oscar.
Everybody loves you. You're
Oh,
like all these
no,
commercials they did. You listen.
At that time, I was well liked.
You definitely were. I was about 14, 15. I remember this. All over the place. You're in Orlando. Every time I looked up, you dunked in a ball. And so you have this career. Is there anything that you felt like you wanted to accomplish that you didn't?
I wanted to win a championship. I felt like our championship run was cut short when Shaq went from us to the Lakers. And I knew that was going to be devastating because you lose a guy of that magnitude. But the only thing that I regret is not winning a championship in Orlando.
Did you know he was gonna go?
I did not.
How'd you find out?
I found out in the Olympics in '96. I was in the media coverage when we were in media day in the Olympics, and the reporter asked me, "How do you feel not having Shaq on your team anymore?" I'm like, "What do you mean?"
Oh, that's how you.
Yes, he didn't tell me at the time, and then afterwards he and I spoke, but he had already committed a contract with the Lakers.
So what'd you say?
I said, if that happens, then it will be devastating, but it had already happened, and I didn't know.
When you be a trainer 101 folks, that's how you handle it.
Hey, I just had to say that because I'm obviously just lying about the fact that I didn't want him to go, but I found out that Bruce Willis and Demi Moore, all these entertainers and actors out in L.A., helped recruit him with Jerry West
Oh wow.
to come out there, and it was too overwhelming. And Shaq being in the movies and in the music,
Yeah. He couldn't say no.
and it was a great career move for him because going to L.A. was a bigger market
Oh,
than Orlando. But he's from San Antonio because his dad, he was an Army brat or military brat, so he went all around. So he was raised in San Antonio.
So what is your not famous, but your most memorable moment in basketball?
Probably my most memorable moment was getting drafted,
Yeah.
and then secondly was getting a gold medal in the Olympics in '96 in Atlanta. When you represent your country,
Yeah. That's huge.
yeah,
Like, well,
it's huge. Yeah,
is there anybody you want to play against that you didn't?
I wanted to play against Larry Bird. I did get a chance to play against Magic and Michael, but I wanted to play against Larry Bird. I didn't get a chance. I came in a little late then when he had retired.
Do you feel like the game is a little bit more fast paced now? I feel like back then guys were more like graceful. Like now it's
Yeah.
like shh, shh, shh.
Yeah, the speed of the game is definitely, even though there were teams back in the day were scoring 130, 140, 150, there were nuggets back in the day were scoring a ton of points, but the game is faster because it's more spacing. It's spacing and guys are running to the line. It's not for layups anymore.
Yeah, it was like they had like an art form to it. Like
Yeah, I think skill-wise, our era was pretty good. This era has changed everything and taken it to another level.
I mean, I feel agree. So you leave at some point, or are you forced to leave, or
I don't think I was forced. I just put myself in a situation where obviously I got injured
right?
and I had to make a decision. And the Phoenix Suns did a great job recruiting me when I was, a free agent.
Right.
And wanted to go play with Jason Kidd in Phoenix. And without the Phoenix hindsight, maybe my heart was broken from the media or from the fans because everything had changed and it had started to go downhill. And I wish I would have just fought it out and stayed in Orlando. Not that Phoenix was terrible, but, I'll tell anybody, if you can work it out, stay where you are.
Is that a thing? Like when guys, even for high school guys, that they're so good and they think they're going to college, they think they're going to the NBA, and they don't make it. I think it's like a huge heartbreak, right? So how do you, not for you personally, but like, what would you say to somebody who it just didn't work out?
It's hard to say that to someone when you haven't gone through that. But the one thing you can say is make the best of what you have now. It didn't work. You can't sit back and sulk and, kind of wallow in your own sorrow. You just have to, honestly, just be a man about it and just say, hey, I got to chalk that up. That's behind me. And then there's better days ahead. There are better days ahead.
So after you stopped playing, what did you do after that?
Well, I was actually forced, you mean to me or to the?
You.
To me, I was actually forced out early because of the injuries. I really wasn't ready to retire. But I think that God always has a plan and a purpose for you. And when I retired, I went right into coaching middle school and Leicester Middle School with Desmond Merriweather.
Oh, so you didn't have a break.
I didn't have a break at all. As soon as I got done, I went right, came home for a couple of days, and my friend Desmond Merriweather asked me to help coach Leicester Middle School, and I went right into coaching.
So these are like 12, 13-year-olds.
Yeah, 12, 13, 14-year-olds.
You stick with them all the way through high school.
Stuck with them through middle school and through high school.
I mean, if that ain't divine setup, I don't know what is.
Man.
You come in to help and you end up coaching.
And I wasn't thinking about coaching at all. I was going to work either ESPN or TNT, and God said I got different plans for it.
I don't know too many people that would coach middle school versus CNN, blah, blah, blah.
Well, Desmond was working so hard to try to help these kids and these young men. I feel like we're both from the same neighborhood, and we have an opportunity to change lives. And I felt like it was my duty to do so. And Desmond, he was a heart and soul. And if you were around him, everything that he did was just it was contagious. He would draw you in to try to help these young men, and that's what we did.
And y'all won how many championships?
We won 6, 3 in middle school, 3 in high school. And Desmond did not live to see the 3 in high school, but he definitely saw the 3 in middle school. He was so proud because that was for our neighborhood.
And then some of the boys even played in college, right?
Yeah, some of the guys went out to play, some sort of college and be productive in our community.
So now you are coaching boys basketball for the high school. There are rumblings of you coaching for the college.
Mm-hmm.
And is it of course, I'm going to do it, or is it like, I don't know?
I wasn't really 100% sure in the beginning. I saw what was going on. The fan base had pretty much given up on the university. There wasn't many fans in the stands, and the team was fighting hard, but they just weren't winning. And Memphis is a city.
Church and basketball.
When that starts to happen, it went the wrong way. And when I finally made my mind up to do it, it was basically because to try to save the situation and get our basketball program back to some prominence and being one of the top teams in the country.
Was there a moment of clarity for you when you made that decision, or kind of just came at some point?
It just came. I mean, it wasn't really. It basically was like, okay, this is your last group that you came in with at Eastside School.
Right.
The timing is perfect. The city and the school needs me. I'm not going anywhere, so let's go do it.
And I'm sure on the flip side of that coin, you're like, okay, but what did it go right? I'm sure people were saying, don't do it. Why you doing it? You're retired. You got money.
There were plenty of people telling me not to do it because it could tarnish my reputation, my legacy. But I never looked at it in that fashion because it's what comes along with sports, period. When I was in the NBA, you got it all the time. And then being a coach at the University of Memphis, I knew it was going to happen. So it wasn't taking the job, not knowing what could happen, but I just wanted to help.
And help you did.
Yeah, for sure.
And so that's been what, 4, 5 years?
No, I just finished my 6th year. I'm going into my 7th year.
Man, time is flying.
Don't wait on anybody.
So how's that been? Being a player, being a coach to young men, being a high school coach. What's the main difference between coaching like high school and then at the collegiate level?
I think the difference between high school level and college level is everybody on the team is gifted and they expect to play. Where in high school, some guys have surrendered to say, hey, I know I'm not as good as this guy, and I can play my role. When you get to college, the guys are so good, everybody feels like they can help or they need to shoot, and it becomes
piss and match?
Pretty much.
So how do you, you're the coach, so how do you temper that?
Well, there's a pecking order with everything, and I always think about the military when we talk about these orders. And in basketball, you have the best player, second best player, rebounders, defenders, and you start defining roles to everybody when you get to that level.
Now, I've followed y'all for the last couple of years, and I feel like with so many people changing, leaving, even in a job, like it would be hard to get a winning team if every year you have to pretty much start from scratch. How do you deal with that?
It's tough. Everybody's getting dealt that same hand, pretty much. There are a few teams that are keeping the majority and only adding a couple. And there are a lot of teams like me that are adding 7, 8, 9, 10 players every year and having to get them together. What works for me now is that I have my entire team during the summer. I haven't had my entire team because guys that we've recruited have had to go to summer school and couldn't come in until the fall. But to have my entire team this year, I feel really good. But if you can get your team early, then you can kind of work through all the kinks or work the kinks out. If you don't get them so late, then it makes it very difficult. So to get a new team every year, you pray to have them in June and July and not just in the fall.
Now, is that strategy for this year, or it just kind of happened that way?
I think it's a little of both. I think we went out to guys that we knew that would be available and that would have the character and would have the talent. And then we got blessed with everyone that we went after. They didn't have to go to summer school, that they could come here right away.
Now, how much does being Penny Hardaway play into you actually recruiting?
It has a lot to do with it because these guys want to get to the next level.
Right.
They want to, get to the NBA, and I'm the guy that can do it for them.
Do you think
They
that
know
gives
that.
you a competitive edge?
It does give me a competitive edge, for sure.
What about on the flip side? Do you feel like they expect more, or they, because you're you?
I don't think they expect more. I think they respect my mind, and I don't think they expect more. I think they know what they're getting into, and they just move accordingly, and then we just kind of build a relationship and go from there.
And anytime you're dealing with people, you're dealing with their parents, you're dealing with their circumstances. I'm sure some of them have kids, some of them get in trouble. You kind of become like the dad, right?
That's another hat that you have to wear. When the parents hand these young men over to us, then you have to become counselor, friend, coach, dad, another dad, on and off the court. So that's the hats that you have to wear.
And how do you got them with that? It's like a lot.
I've been doing it since the middle school
So
era and high school, so it's easier for me. Most coaches don't take on that, but I've had to take on that role.
Hey, I think you got to be called to do something.
You do have to be called. I feel like it was a calling from God for me to have to retire early because I was one of the best players, and then I had injuries and had to be removed from the league to come back to this situation. It was for a reason. It definitely is a calling.
So even though we know the season ends and begins, you're still recruiting in the middle. So technically, are you really ever off? Are you ever really not working?
Never off. 365,
Like a preacher.
366 in a leap year,
I mean, it's like a
24/7. It is. You have no time off. And for 6 years, I think I've taken 3 vacations because it's always about trying to win. And we haven't accomplished what we wanted to accomplish yet, so that keeps driving me. And I'm learning on the fly as well. Remember, I was a new coach that never coached college before, and learning all the ins and outs has taken its time, and I'm getting better.
So what does Penny Hardaway do to unwind?
Sleep. That's it. I don't do anything. Well, obviously, I can say golf.
Okay.
Golf kind of unwinds me and relaxes me, and I get out there and I have fun playing golf. The only other thing is sleep. I just rest. Those are the only 2 things I do outside of work.
What about working? I'm going to say this loosely, work-life balance. You probably don't have with it. Sounds like it's more work.
It's all work. It's all work. It's just when I got the job, I knew what that was going to be like and what that was going to entail. And coaches will tell you around the country that it's nonstop.
They do. And now these boys want to get paid.
Want to get paid on top of it.
So now we have to raise money, NIL, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's a new thing. I also would speak to the fact that I thought it's very interesting. You talked about timing. You had 2 of your sons playing for you last year, and the year before you had your other son playing.
Mm-hmm.
What was that like?
It was good and bad because, as a father, you want to push your sons harder than the rest of the team. But then it's kind of unfair to them because they're a part of the team and they got to take the conversations and the ribbing from the teammates or whatever. So I tried to normalize it as much as I could being dad, just be more supportive and kind of treat them normal, and then after the practices be dad.
Now, are you the dad that like, no, you come in here, you playing for me?
I was with Ashton. I wasn't like that with Jane. And in some cases, that's not fair because I really wanted to be the guy to train them.
Right.
But they have their own path. And Ashton ended up transferring to St. Mary's, which is a better deal for him because he kind of wants to, open his wings and fly on his own and not kind of be under my wing all the time. And I support that. And I'm happy for him. Jaden is done now. And just looking to do bigger and better things. He has 2 degrees, undergrad and majors, and masters. So he's in the driver's seat.
Man, job well done, Dad.
Yeah, I'm a proud dad, and just happy that I got a chance to coach both of them for 1 year. That was special, but it is pressure, being down there and coach. So now I don't have that this year. I kind of miss it, but on to the next group and working with these young men.
Yeah, I don't know that we've seen that in basketball. We saw it in football with Deion and his point, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know that we saw that in basketball. I don't know. But
I can't remember.
I mean, the timing of it, I don't think you couldn't have time then, but you.
Yeah, no, and Dion has done a phenomenal job just watching him from afar. He's just he has time every day for the guys that has to talk about his program and his son. So I've been noticing that and really appreciating him, taking up for his sons and being able to coach University of Cumberland.
What about the fans? I think the fans, especially in Memphis, is like basketball church, and the fans are a big part of that. Like, I feel like the Grizzlies can lose, but y'all can't lose.
Right.
Yeah.
Homegrown. The Tigers have been here forever. The Grizzlies have only been here, I can say, a short while. We love the Grizzlies, but it's really a Tiger town.
Definitely.
And they, as we move, they move. And I've seen this my entire life. I've known about Memphis basketball, that the fans, they love you more than they hate you, but they're definitely opinionated because they know the game.
Yeah.
We have a very knowledgeable fan base and city, and they know what they want.
Favorite fan moment or craziest fan moment?
It was over my tenure, with us making that run to the Elite Eight. The entire city was on fire. And the next moment was when I was in high school and watching the team with Andre Turner and Keith B. And I might not have been in high school, it might have been before high school, junior high. But watching that team and how the city, we're in elementary and junior high with TVs in the classrooms, actually watching the NCAA games. Those moments were special to us. Those were fan moments.
Yeah. I mean, you really can't make this up. This is like a basketball town. I think when you say, oh, it's a college town stuff, like to be here, it is church and basketball. Like real talk, you just got to be here to experience it. I think it's pretty remarkable because it's like a kinship. Everybody bonds over basketball.
Basketball brings everybody together.
All right, we're going to get into some rapid fire questions.
Okay.
Because I think people want to know a little bit more about you. So, early bird or night owl?
Night owl.
Sweet or savory?
Sweet.
Summer or winter?
Summer.
Cats or dogs?
Dogs.
Texting or calling?
Texting.
City life or countryside?
City. You can have the country.
Really?
I'm a city
That's
boy.
mixed up.
City.
Okay, city. Breakfast or dinner?
Breakfast at any time.
Man, you know yourself, huh? Okay, music or podcast?
Music.
Reading a book or watching a movie?
Watching a movie.
Beach vacation or mountain retreat?
Beach vacation.
Coffee or tea?
Tea.
Android or iPhone?
iPhone.
Home cooked meal or dining out?
Home cook.
Driving or flying?
Flying.
Concerts or sporting events? Duh.
Concerts.
Sporting event.
No. Concerts. I love concerts. I'm in a
What's the
spelling
last
bee.
concert you went to?
What's the last concert I went to? Don't.
The
I have to think about
OJs.
that. Was that at Orpheum?
Yes.
Was that at Orpheum? Yeah. That might have been the
OJs.
last one.
Morning workout or evening workout?
Morning.
The past or the future?
Future.
Probably. I would agree. You did good. You did good. Let's see what else I got.
Yeah.
What else are we into? We're going to end it up. But anything else you want to touch on? I got more.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay. I'm going to start a sentence and you finish it. Ready?
Oh Lord, I might not do good at this one.
You're going to
Go
do
ahead.
it. Okay. The proudest moment of my career was when?
I won a gold medal.
Okay. If I could play one game over again, it would be?
NBA Finals. If I could play one game over again, the NBA Finals game 1.
What happened?
We lost in overtime. No, it might have been, we lost in overtime in Houston. And then we went on and got swept.
The toughest opponent I ever faced was?
Michael Jordan.
Are you just saying that?
No, the Bulls, the Michael Jordan. 96 Bulls.
96 Bulls, for sure. The most memorable fan interaction I ever had was?
The most memorable fan interaction I've ever had was 2 times. In Memphis when we made the Elite Eight run, and then when we went to the finals, that whole entire run in Orlando.
Okay.
It was great going everywhere around the city and everybody being excited.
Biggest lesson basketball has taught me is?
The biggest lesson basketball has taught me is everything's not going to go your way. You really have to roll with the bounces.
Right. No
You
pun
do,
intended.
no pun intended.
My favorite city to play in was always?
LA.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Not Orlando.
I love playing. I mean, oh, you mean me playing? I thought you meant like competing. It was playing, it was Orlando.
Okay.
competing in was
My teammate who inspired me the most was
a teammate that inspired me the most was Shaq because he was all about greatness. He never settled for mediocre. He was all about greatness.
shout out to Shaquille O'Neal. If I had to become a professional basketball player, I would be a
Award-winning Oscar actor. Oh, Oscar-winning actor. I would be. You just tell me.
Give me one more. Is this
I'm
serious?
being honest.
You really want to be an actor?
I did want to be an actor.
Okay. Seriously.
Lean?
Okay. One thing I miss most about playing is
The thing I miss most about playing is just walking into the arenas and smelling the popcorn, knowing that the game was about to start. That feeling was not letting me know that it was about to happen.
man, I felt that. Who is your current favorite NBA player?
My current favorite NBA player is probably Jason Tatum.
Okay. Why?
I've been knowing Jason since he was in like 7th grade.
Oh,
And to
wow.
watch his maturation phase and to see that he was a superstar in 7th grade, superstar in high school, superstar at Duke, and then to be a superstar in the league, that doesn't happen usually. So just to watch his game and the way that he was talked about coming out, he couldn't shoot. They had all these negatives about him. And he's proven everybody wrong.
Amen to that. Any rituals or pregame, things you do to get pumped up?
When I played?
Yeah.
When I played in Orlando, I drove the same way to the arena,
Oh, your route.
my route.
Same car?
The same, not the same car, but the same route. I never changed my route.
What were you listening to? What's your pump it up?
Back then, it was probably Nas, Jay-Z, whatever the hype music was then.
So you just drive the same way you get to know.
And now,
And now,
in Memphis, my rituals are I don't let anybody split poles.
okay.
I don't let anybody separate or anything. Like, we can't split poles. We gotta walk the same way.
Oh, wow.
That's my thing with the university.
Y'all are like locked in.
My thing.
Man, I think I saw some players one night and I was out and they were like locked. They were like, it's a social place and they were just all together. I was like, oh, those boys is. And that was the year Tyler played and Quinones and yeah, they were locked in for sure.
That was a great group of hoopers right there. That
It
group.
was. It was very exciting that year too, I think.
They held me down.
Okay, no, that was hold it down again in Jersey.
It was done.
Anything you want to leave the people with today? Any words of wisdom?
Just, on your journey, because everybody's going to have their journey. There's definitely going to be ups and downs. We know that. How do I want to put this?
The same.
Not the stereotypical fight through adversity and all that. Just the days that you have the good days, kind of all enjoy those days. But also enjoy the down days because you know you're not going to stay there.
Amen. Y'all heard it in person. Coach Penny Hardaway. We're going to put the link down in the description box. So you guys make sure you support the NIL efforts. We're going to get these boys some money so they can come and we can recruit. And we'll catch you guys on the next episode of the Let's Be Clear podcast.